Alright, good morning. This lesson is for my trig pre-calc class. This is lesson for section 3.3, lesson number 4. First, before I start, I'd like to say I hope everyone's doing okay out there. Remember, we want to make sure we turn in all of our assignments. We want to be able to argue that I need to pass this class, and look at all that I did. I got 5 of 6 are you who are starting to slack when it comes to turning in assignments. Don't slack. I'll take some of these late, but I'm not going to make a habit out of that. But please make sure you're turning in your work. Today's lesson is going to be pretty quick. Let me turn off this volume here. Today's lesson will be pretty simple. It's just an expansion of what we've already done. So our goals today are going to be to expand and condense more complicated logarithmic property problems. It's plural, not singular. I gave you more than one problem. Problems. And I wrote down our logarithmic properties. If I'm multiplying, I end up adding my logs together. If I'm dividing, I end up subtracting. If I have something to a power, that power becomes what I multiply by. Going in this direction is expansion or expanding. Going this way is condensing. You should have this on your cheat sheet. And I'd like to just do 2 quick examples. We'll call that a day, and then your assignment will be on the Google Class. Alright, so here I have, I'm asking you to expand a little bit more complicated problems. What I'm going to recommend is, let's try and do the first properties first. Let's worry about this guy last. And so the first property, to me, this looks a lot like the first property where I have a number times another number. Don't mind the exponent because this is still technically a number and it's multiplying another number. So what I can do very quickly is I can expand it using this rule. So I will now have log base 10, because I didn't write a base, log base 10 of x to the 6th power plus log base 10 of y. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now look at each of these individually. So here I have now my third rule, where I have a number being raised to a power, so that number can actually go in front. And so now it's 6 times log base 10 of x plus log base 10 of y. So this is what it would look like to expand a slightly more complicated problem, where in the previous lessons you were only doing one specific property. In this lesson you might do all 3 properties, you might do 2 properties, but it's definitely a little bit more a complicated problem. So that's an example of expansion. So let me do an example of condensing, and that should wrap up the lesson. So let's condense the following. I want you to condense. So if I gave you something that looked like this, 3 log, I'm going to do log base 10, 3 log base 10 of x minus 2 log base 10 of y. Alright, so let's just kind of work backwards here. So since we ended with this property, let's start with this property. So I'm gonna turn this into this for both of these. So here now I'm gonna have log base 10 of x to the 3rd power minus log, that's a really bad 3, log base 10 of y to the 2nd power. So now I just need to figure out which of these 2 properties I have. Do I have the subtraction or the addition? I have the subtraction, so I'm just going to follow this pattern. So my final answer, following this pattern, this is my u, this is my v, and now I'm just going to put them where they go. My final answer is going to be log base 10 of x to the 3rd power divided by y to the 2nd power. And that's all we're doing today, so that's about condensed, right? So again, I think it's a fairly simple lesson. It's a little bit more complicated than before, because before you're asked to only do one of these at a time. Now we're seeing multiple steps. Again, in the expansion, I try to do these first, end with this For the condensing, I would try to do the exact opposite order. Start with the third one and then work your way through. So hopefully this is enough to get you through the assignment. Again, I hope everyone is doing well. My thoughts are with you guys, and if there's anything you need, let me know. Please make sure you're turning in the assignments. I want to make sure I can say, hey, look, they did everything we needed to do in this quarantine, and they definitely give themselves a shot to pass. No matter what your grade is right now, just do everything I ask you to do. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. Have a good day. The next lesson will be up tomorrow.